Hey everyone, welcome to the Moxi Roller Skates YouTube channel. I'm Shove. This is Bowie. We have a special episode today because today we're talking about anxiety, and most importantly, I have 7 tips to help you with roller skating with anxiety. Fun fact, Bowie has social anxiety too. I brought him because he's cute and he's supporting me because I've been putting this episode off because it's been making me anxious just thinking about doing it and talking about it and hopefully giving y'all some tips. Thanks, Bowie, for helping. Have fun. Bye, boo-boo. All right, so I want to start off by saying I am in no way a trained psychiatrist or therapist, any of that. I am someone that roller skates and suffers with anxiety and depression, along with a whole other list of things. But I also believe in breaking the stigma. We are not just roller skaters, we are human beings, and we have things that we carry with us. We have disabilities that are visible and that are not visible. And I happen to be one of those people. On the outside, you might just see me as an outgoing person having the time of my life on my roller skates or on the YouTube channel, also having the time of my life. But there's more to me. I often get really anxious while roller skating. Just like how it's hard for me right now to find the words I want, I just have to take more pauses. I either talk way too fast or I talk too slow, and my brain is working at a different speed than my mouth can get the words out. And this can be something hard to talk about. It's easier sometimes to just type it up like you'll see on my Instagram posts, because I know that there are other people in the world that feel the same way. So this video isn't really just for people that are medically diagnosed with anxiety. I think we all get anxious from here and there, and the 7 tips I'm gonna give can help you whether you're just a little nervous and anxious about roller skating and just going out into the world skating, whether you're a beginner or advanced, but also for people that are like me that literally get that fight or flight. If you hear the panting, that is Bowie. He is in here panting his little heart out. Don't mind it. Let's have a little story time about anxiety. So just like I said, all those effects you can have while talking, and it affects the way your brain and your mouth works at different speeds, which makes you sound anxious like me right now. Or if not anxious, it just makes you seem a little different, and that's okay. So that can happen with skating as well. There have been many times where I got the courage to go roller skate somewhere by myself, and I thought, I'm gonna do this. And as I'm skating, my legs begin to just not work. Literally turn to noodles. And I've been skating for 4.5 years. And it's kind of terrifying and it's confusing, especially the first time it happened to me. I just didn't understand what was wrong. I put my skates on, I went skating, and it was like, whoa, I feel like my legs aren't attached, and I felt like a baby deer. I felt like I had just started skating all over again. And then it takes a while to warm up and I'll get going, but then I'll reach my destination and then it's the same thing. My legs can't work. I can't really skate into that coffee shop I went to or wherever it may be. And I'm afraid to go in and talk to the person because I'm full-blown anxiety attack, and it just feels like too much. And it takes me a while to calm down. I now have the tools to help with that, but it still kind of happens here and again, now and again. There we go. Words, what are they? Bear with me, people. It's a doozy. Anxiety, there's nothing to fear, but it just feels like it. I first knew I was anxious probably when I was in high school. That was my first full-blown anxiety attack. But as I got older, I found out that I had all the signs of anxiety from a child. And it's something I've lived with for years, and I have learned to adjust or cope, I should say, and I found tools to help me cope and work through it. So I'm gonna talk about some of those tips and like how once I became a roller skater, I was able to adjust those things I've learned to help me skate. Not to like be able to skate away from anxiety, which I could, but skate with anxiety and make it a little more manageable. So these tips could help you. I hope they do. If you have any helpful tips of what helps you while skating with anxiety, please leave them in the comments. All right, let's jump into the 7 tips I have for roller skating with anxiety. Tip number 1, check in with yourself. What does that mean? Well, it means, how are you feeling that day? Did you already wake up kind of anxious from something from the day before, or did something happen that day and you don't really feel yourself? You already kind of have that feeling like today is kind of an off day. Well, listen to yourself. And if you don't make it to skate, that's okay. That's totally valid. But if you can, maybe try to push through. A lot of the times we build up these fears in our head, and that's how anxiety works, and we decide not to go out there into the world. Like, we can even lace up and not really make it where we want to go. If you can push through and just kind of have like a word of affirmation, like everything's okay, I got this, I'm gonna skate today, because once I skate today, I'm going to feel amazing and that anxiety is gonna go away, then go ahead and do that. But if you feel like today's not the day, I can't do it. I've literally driven to a skate park, 3 skate parks in one day by myself. I thought today's the day I go to a skate park by myself. I'm gonna learn so much. And each skate park I went to has full of skateboarders, and I was like, I can't do this. Like, there's too many people, everyone's gonna laugh at me, everyone's gonna look at me, I just can't do it. Like, there's no one I know here. And I really tried to push through, but I couldn't. I just went home. I felt defeated. I felt all sorts of bad. I felt like I was weak, like I wish I was strong enough to push through. And you know, it's valid to not be able to push through the anxiety. There's nothing wrong with that. It's very valid. If you can't make it that day, don't worry about it, because there's always tomorrow or the next day. You really have to just listen to your body, your heart and soul, what's your mind saying, because you don't want to have an off day and then you're strapping skates to your feet and you're not really happy to be there and you don't feel like you belong in your body, and then you're risking getting hurt. So yeah, step number 1, listen to your body. Tip number 2, find someone to skate with. Not necessarily a stranger, because definitely that could be more anxiety inducing, but a friend that you love to skate with, someone you trust, someone you know you always have a good time with. I feel like that helps me not focus on the little voices in my head telling me that I can't do something, or that everyone's gonna laugh at you, or like whatever it may be. Because no matter how confident I am, things still get in my head and I'm just like, oh no, what's happening? But when I have a friend there with me, someone that's talking to me, someone that's encouraging me, or even if it goes the opposite and I do end up having a panic attack, I have that person there to kind of like soothe me, or like get me out of there if needed, or go sit aside of the skate park or a park bench if we're like skating somewhere outside. And that really helps a lot, because friends can just kind of like change the vibe of everything, and it really helps. So using that buddy system or just going out with a group of friends is definitely way less anxiety ridden than trying to go out there into the big scary world all by yourself. I have friends that I go to skate parks with together, or I go on street skates. I mostly skate with my girlfriend Rebel, and she's fully aware that I get anxious sometimes and that I need to stop. My friends know that too. I even have some friends that also have severe anxiety, and they can see the warning signs right away when I'm not feeling good, and I can see it in them, and we know when we need to get away from a big crowd of people or just kind of depend on one another. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's something you should talk about, and your friends will totally understand, so that way you feel less alone. Tip number 3 for roller skating with anxiety, that would be music. Music has definitely gotten me through some tough situations in all aspects of life, and including roller skating when I'm not sure that I got it. Especially if you don't have friends you can skate with and you're like, I'm just gonna skate by myself and feeling pretty good. For me, putting on the right kind of playlist with the vibe I'm feeling, and just whether it's one earphone, because when you're skating you want to be able to be aware of your surroundings, or you have a speaker clipped onto your belt loop or your fanny pack, and that music can make you feel empowering. It can make you feel like, I don't know, you just feel like more into your body for some reason when you're skating. It almost feels like you're dancing, and you're feeling more of that vibe of the music than paying attention about like what's fully around you, like who I mean, like if people are looking at you or how you feel. I feel like as much as I say like the voices in you, or like it's hard to explain when you have like anxiety, because it's not like you're hearing voices, it's your own voice and it's your thought process, and it's just like making up all these scenarios that aren't real. One time I saw a meme that what did it say? It said something like, having anxiety is like drowning underwater, fighting for your life, while everyone else is just walking around you completely fine. And sometimes once you become more aware of what anxiety is and that you have it, it's a little bit easier to like identify what's happening, and you know that like it's not real. Like, you go to the skate park and no one even cares you're there. You belong to be there just as much as everyone else. Or you're skating on the beach path, everyone's probably just thinking, oh, look at that person with cool skates. Like, no one's thinking anything bad about you. There's most likely nothing bad gonna happen to you, like falling. I get so like in my head that like something bad's gonna happen. I'm gonna like bomb this hill and a car is gonna hit me at the bottom. I'm gonna try to skate backwards and one of the cracks is gonna hit me and my head's gonna hit the ground and I'm gonna have a concussion. I get scared of like my ramps sometimes. Like, I have too many ramps in my backyard, and I'll go months without touching them because every time I step on them with my skates, I think today's the day something bad's gonna happen. And it sucks, and I wish I could push through it, but that's what goes through my head. And sometimes I can like get music, I can put the right song and it can push me through. And other days those fears are overwhelming. And even though I know like it's all in your head, it's not real, it feels real. And we got to remind ourselves that we're just trying to do the best we can, and we can push through it, and we can still skate. And the more you move in your body, a lot of times the blood gets pumping and you can kind of push through it. Number 4 for roller skating with anxiety, familiar places. I always use the term like safe place. Safe places for me are places I've been so many times, like my local coffee shop or my local skate park, the beach path, places I've skated over and over again, and I know them like the back of my hand. So I don't really get much anxiety there because I feel like, oh, like this is my place. Like, I belong here as much as everyone else, so I rarely get anxiety in those places. So especially if you're having an off day or you just feel like an off week, month, whatever it may be, stick to roller skating in those places that you already have. If you are new and you don't really have a skate place, which skate place, safe place, that kind of goes good together. But anyways, if you don't have your safe place to skate yet, find one. Like, where do you want it to be? It's kind of cool when it's starting out. Like, is it that beach path? Is it a bike path? Is it in your neighborhood? Start a route like, this is the way I'm gonna skate all the time, and just start doing it as a routine, and you'll become more and more comfortable there, and you'll find yourself being less anxious every time you do it, because it is more familiar to you and it does feel safe to you mentally. So I definitely feel like having familiar places to skate does help. It makes you feel safe. Tip number 5, it's a big one. It's about skate parks. Oh my gosh, roller skating is already so stressful sometimes, and then you have park skating and going to skate parks. It's like chaotic. There's people everywhere, there's scooter kids everywhere. You're trying to learn like skate park etiquette, all this stuff. And even when you learn how the skate park works and etiquette and all this stuff and knowing when it's your turn, it could still be anxiety ridden. Like, it's just so much that could go wrong, and you just want to like do what you want to do and work on what you want to work on. For me, roller skating, I have so many hurdles I need to jump when it comes to park skating, because in my head I think of all the ways I can get hurt, and that leads to fear. The anxiety like turns into fear and tells me like, don't do it. It took me forever to drop in, because I thought if I drop in, my feet are gonna slip out, my head's gonna go back, my neck and skull are gonna hit the coping and a vertebrae spot that makes me paralyzed for the rest of my life. And that was a fear that would like, it would play out. It would play out to where I could even see myself in a wheelchair every time I stood on the deck with my one foot on the coping. And I was like, I swear to the gods and goddesses, I'm going to get paralyzed if I drop in. And like, I would shake up there and shake. And I told that to someone, and they said, what are you afraid of happening? And they were like, okay, the chances of that happening are so small. Like, that's not gonna happen. And they kept talking to me, and I kept trying to tell myself, they're right, it's all in your head. Like, the fear is holding you back. And it took me maybe 30 minutes up there, but I did drop in, but it took me a really long time to do it again. And then when we got a mini ramp, oh my gosh, I got up there and same thing, maybe 30 minutes or more. And I just kept seeing the same image, and I kept telling myself, like, you've done this before, you can do it again. You've done it before, you can do it again. But it was just so terrifying. So yeah, all that goes into park skating. So my tip for you would be, go early. I'm not saying like when the sun comes up, but I have done that before. But a lot of skate parks, people don't show up till closer to like 11 or noon or later. If you go really early, especially during a weekday, like when people are at school, or if you are in school still, then go on a weekend, but try to go early. And you will notice that no one's there. Maybe there's like 1 to 3 people, but for the most part, it's usually pretty empty. Funny thing is, in my local parks, if you go early, there's more chances of you finding other roller skaters that are just as nervous and have anxiety just like you. So they're there early too, and they're usually really nice. So just go in, say hi if you need to, or if you're all alone, be like, yes, I'm all alone, or just here with my friend, and bring your music. But going early helps, because even if you stay for hours, it's a little easier to be in that skate park and welcome people in. Like, you're already doing your thing. It already has become your safe place. And yeah, like as they come, you just say hi and you keep doing your thing, and they see you're there, and then more people come. And before you know it, you're like, okay, like 20 people showed up. And I'm not freaking out, because it's way easier, a little bit easier on you to notice that versus walking up to a crowded skate park and it's just like, oh my gosh, like I don't know where to go. I feel like everyone's looking at me because I just showed up here and they're like, what's this roller skating doing here? And then you start spinning out and you're like, I'm gonna leave. A lot of times when I go with my friends, if we go and there's already people there, I'll put my skates on, but I'll chill for maybe 20-30 minutes and watch everyone else skate. I might help them record to get clips. I wait until my heartbeat slows down, until my breathing becomes normal. I start to feel a little bit more in my body, a little more calm, and then I'm ready to skate, which really helps. And then, so yeah, usually like 30 minutes is the magic number. And then I'm like, all right, now I'll warm up, I'll skate around, hit the ramps, I might go on the half pipe, I'll start doing some tricks. And then I have like the best time because now I know like all I need is time to adjust physically so that mentally I'll feel like I belong. That's definitely a tool that I use to help me when I'm at the skate park because it's a lot going on and it's okay to feel anxious because skate parks can be scary. They're scarier than just skating on the street. So you're gonna have these feelings and it's valid whether you can push through that day or you just gotta go. Tip number 6 is gonna be breathe. Breathing can help so much. I don't even know, like it's like crazy, and for some reason I used to be embarrassed about this. Because I was like, people are gonna be like, what the heck is Shove doing? Like, why is she just sitting there breathing like that? But it really helps. And like I said, just let your friends know you have anxiety and they're not gonna think you're like out of it for doing it. And it might help them too. What I'm gonna show you actually helped me with dropping in on my mini for the first time. Is I noticed all the things in my body, like the fact that I was like breathing a little too fast, like heavy. My hands felt sweaty. My heart was beating fast. I was shaky. I felt like my noodle legs, and I was standing on the deck and I had my foot on the coping and I just started to breathe. And it's not just like regular breathing. I will breathe in through my nose for 4 seconds and out for 4 seconds. And I'll keep repeating it until I notice my heart slows down. I feel more calm. And I did that on the deck. And then I was like, you have this. If you fall, you fall. And I just did it. I dropped in and it was amazing. But yeah, so what that looks like, oh my gosh, it's like I'm getting anxious thinking like they're gonna be like, Shove, you're an insane person, which is nothing wrong with being insane. And yes, I actually kind of am, but that's why I have therapy and medicine. Don't come at me. We're breaking the stigma here. We're all being one family talking about mental wellness, and it's a hard conversation to have sometimes, but it's very important to have it so that people have the tips they need. All right, I'm telling you that, but I'm also trying to tell myself that to just shut up and do it. So when you're gonna breathe, to kind of bring that anxiety down, it's like this. Even just doing that 2 times, I felt a little more at ease. And it just helps. It reminds you to pause. Everything's okay. Because the more your body feels that fight and flight, the more your mind freaks out. And it's just that whole flight or fight that you feel. If it's really bad, you definitely have to do it like a bunch of times, maybe 6 times. And I hope it makes a difference. Again, I'm not a doctor, so you can't be like, well, Chef told me it would work and it didn't work. Or Chef told me it would work and it made it worse. Like, I don't know. This just works for me. Take that time to breathe, to really like bring everything back, to recenter, to like ground yourself. It really does help. If you need a fidget toy or something, that helps. Rubbing your hands to get that friction and feel that warmth. Squeezing them just to kind of feel more like you're aware and you're moving. Everything from your mind into your physical body helps. And then once you feel good, start skating and feel one in your body, because that's what roller skating does. And it's really hard when you want to do the thing that brings you so much joy when also your mind is telling you you can't do it. So it's definitely an uphill battle, but I'm here for you. I feel you. It happens to me too. I try to post about it on social media so people don't think that like everything's just sunshine and puppies and fun. Like, there's a dark side. Just kidding. It's not a dark side. It's just we all go through some stuff too. I'm just trying to say that basically whatever you have going on in your mind up here, it's okay. You can still have a good time roller skating. And if you can't do it that day, as I said before, that's okay too. You're gonna be able to do it eventually. So number 7, I've kind of dropped this everywhere. This is the last tip. It's the most important tip. Tip number 7, roller skating with anxiety. Don't be embarrassed. Break the stigma. You don't have to be super open and talk about it on social media or make a YouTube video about it for all the world to see and know. I do want to say go ahead and talk to your friends and family, like the people you skate with, about it, just so they can be aware and look out for you and help you with what you need. But don't be embarrassed. Like, if you need to do those breathing exercises and people might be kind of looking at you, like, it's fine. Like, if they ask you, just say like, oh, I feel a little anxious, so I'm just trying to recenter. And if they want to judge you, that's on them. Everything you feel is valid. Anxiety sucks. It sucks so bad. You just want to live your life without these feelings and thoughts that the world's against you, or that some harm's gonna come, or just that your body is in this like, let's run away right now and quit everything and get out of Dodge, while you're mentally like, I want to stay, and your body's like, go now. It sucks. And I know it can be embarrassing. I've had times where I've lied to people about not going to rollouts because of excuses I made up because I got anxious, or not going to bailing at the skate park, or bailing on letting people come over to skate my ramps because I just randomly got anxious. It sucks, and I don't want to have to lie to people. So eventually I just was honest. It's like, hey, like, my mental health's not that great right now, and I don't know why, but I'm a little anxious, so I can't make it. And people usually, especially in the year 2021, will understand, and they won't be like, what? Like, I don't get it, just come. Like, some people might be like that, but I feel like the people I'm lucky and privileged enough to be around really understand that mental health comes first, and feelings are valid like that. We are all just trying to do the best we can and be the best versions of ourselves. We are skaters that love to skate, and sometimes our bodies betray us in that, and it's okay. It's okay. I mean, like, not okay that our bodies are doing that, but it's just okay that you're going through that, to the point where people, like, where you don't have to be embarrassed, if that makes any sense. Like, I don't know why there's a stigma around it. And I know a lot of people will say like, anxiety, and I'm having an anxiety attack, and they're not really anxious. It's just become like something people say, and meanwhile you're there like really freaking out, struggling to breathe. Your body doesn't feel like yours. Both feelings can be valid, but definitely, like, if I'm speaking, you're watching this, you're hearing me right now, and you know what I'm talking about and how bad and scary it can be. Just break that stigma and don't be embarrassed. It's okay. I'm here with you. Maybe you can chat amongst yourselves in the comments. There's a lot of us just like, there's a skater named Jen, and she has the saying anxiety on wheels, and totally get it. I relate to it so much. There's a lot of us skaters that it's amazing what we can do, and we could probably be even way more advanced in our skating skills, but our anxiety holds us back. And that's something to be proud of. Like, think of everything you've accomplished and how much of a great skater you've become from like the first time you did, with anxiety, like constantly being afraid of things, or like knowing your body is like your enemy from time to time, and you're still able to strap on those skates and get out there and push yourself and do it. And like, even if you can only skate to your sidewalk in front of your house and back, that's an amazing goal, and you should celebrate those small wins. I haven't always been the way I am about anxiety now, where I can talk about it and be open. And like, yeah, sure, there's still days where it's really hard and I feel slightly embarrassed. And then I remind myself, like, there's nothing wrong with the way I feel. Like, if something is wired different in my brain that makes me different from other people, because of chemical imbalances I have, then I shouldn't be ashamed of that. Like, I can't help the way I was born, and I can't help the path that my life took that gives me all these anxieties I have. I am just a skater, just like you, and that's what makes the world a beautiful place, is there's so many different people on the outside and the inside. So I really hope that these 7 tips help you as much as possible with skating while you have anxiety. It was a really hard video to make. Even right now, for some reason, I feel like I'm gonna cry. I'm actually really proud of myself because I thought I was gonna cry making this video. This was my 3rd attempt recording it for y'all. I feel like if you watch my other video, the 5 tips for fat skaters, that one's something I feel more confident in, and I know it helped a lot of people, and it was so easy to talk about that. But talking about tips for roller skating with anxiety was really hard for me, and I hope I did it justice. And yeah, just leave a comment below how you deal or skate with anxiety, or anything else you have that holds you back sometimes, because I know I have my days or weeks or months where I'm too depressed too, and I just don't skate. And that's the part that people don't really see when people are like skating every day and doing all this stuff, and you're like, I can't do that. And that's okay, and we have each other. Let's meet each other in the comments and discuss that. Yeah, I don't know. I can't wait to read what your tips are so that I can add them to my list and have less times where I freak out in public places thinking I can't make it when I can. All right, y'all, this was a very awkward video because I'm talking about anxiety and I'm anxious. I was gonna say AF. Because I'm anxious as heck right now, but I did it. Yay. So thank you for watching this episode on the Moxi Roller Skates YouTube channel. And yeah, if you want to hear from me for more and all my random tips, go ahead and leave it in the comments as well. All right, shove out.